Welcome to the video. This is going to be the top 7 things that you can easily improve on the Panigale, the 1199, for not much money. There's a lot of things you can do if you spend a lot of money. These are the top few things that I've found after having the bike for a year. What will give you biggest satisfaction with, like I say, a little outlay. Now the first 3 on the list, 7, 6 and 5, kind of work together. But obviously depending on which order you get them in, they're all separate in their own right as well. So the first thing is a ram mount. If you're not familiar with ram mounts, they are basically little balls, and they use compression adapters to fit other things with little balls on, as you see down there. I'll see if I can bring up a picture of mine with what I use it for. I've used it for the last 12 months to put a phone on. Thank you very much. Thank you. And it's been absolutely faultless. It was a bit of an issue to try and get one for the Panigale, but I found that a company called Telferizer actually made one for the Panigale. I've done a separate video showing how that fits and how it works. So that's number 7 on the list. Absolute godsend for carrying your phone. The Telferizer Ram Mount. At number 6 on the list is a USB adapter. That helps, like I say, I've got the Ram Mount for carrying my phone, or if I have sat nav or a camera on or something like that. It helps to have the Ram Mount. It helps to have the USB to actually charge things on the go while I'm moving. The one I've got is the Optimate one, pretty much plug and play, as long as you've got a battery fly lead attached. Fantastic bit of kit, very useful. Which leads me on to number 5 on my list. Number 5 on the list is the actual fly lead itself. Again, mine's an Optimate one, but whichever one fits the USB connection that you want to use. On my bike I've got a tracker fitted which is always on, and I found that if I leave the bike for more than a few days, I'd come back to it and the battery was pretty dead. So it's an absolute godsend being able to plug up the Optimate to keep the battery nice and charged. Very easy to fit, just takes a couple of minutes and job done. Again, not just for the Panigale but for any bike, I'd recommend getting a fly lead so you can charge the battery and plug bits and bobs in. So, to number 4 on the list. This is the cheapest modification, but it's one that enhances the bike. Now the bike is absolutely gorgeous to start with, apart from when you get to the back. It's an absolute monstrosity that Ducati has fitted. It's the current, or the OEM setup tail, or a number plate hanger. Easy way to sort that out is fit an aftermarket one. Now there's loads that you can get. Looks wise, the actual Ducati Performance, funnily enough, is actually one of the nicest ones out there. It's actually quite expensive. We're talking about cheaper modifications here, so we're probably looking at about £100 or equivalent for a reasonable tail tidy. Now you can get ones from R&G, Evotech, companies like that. The one that I've actually gone for, it's not fitted yet, but it's on order. is a company called Brute, B-R-U-U-D-T. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it, but it's a German company. They make a particularly tidy looking tail tidy. So that's number 4 on my list. A suitable tail tidy for the Panigale. So, number 3 on the list of reasonably cheap modifications you can make to your Panigale. Number 3 is the Ducati Performance Comfort Seat. Now, I know it's not the cheapest thing in the world. I think it's between 100 or 140 pounds or so. But it's something you're going to spend a lot of time on when you ride the bike. It's an absolute bargain. Far better than the standard seat. It's a lot thicker and it's a lot more comfortable when you're riding about. So if you've got a Panigale, then that's something I'd definitely recommend. Number 2 of the best cheap mods for your 1199 Panigale. Number 2, a new set of foot pegs. Not talking about full rear sets, anything like that, just the pegs themselves. Because you'll find after a while, especially if you're in any sort of light rain, but even when it is perfectly dry, and you're trying to move your feet around the pegs, or to use your pegs to move your body weight across the bike when cornering, you find that the original pegs on the 1199 are absolutely terrible. The pegs on the 899, I believe, and the 1299 look to be a completely different design to me than the ones on the 1199. They're just so slippy. For the sake of, say, £50, £40, £50 for a new set of pegs, it doesn't make sense that you wouldn't actually change them. It gives you far more confidence lifting pens like these. Just you can have your feet, be up on your toes, going around the corners, and know that your foot's not going to slip off. Because it's happened to me quite a few times. My foot's just slipped off and it just takes all your confidence away. The ones I've got are Oberon black pegs, but like I say, you can get any number of different pegs. But when we're talking about cheap modifications that's going to improve the bike, then a normal set of pegs are one of the first things you need to be looking at. Finally, at number 1. At number 1 on my list of cheap modifications to the 1199 Panigale, and actually in this case to any Panigale, are throttle spacers. And I think I must have paid about £25 for them, 25 to 30 with delivery etc. from America, and this has absolutely transformed the throttle response on the bike. It's very similar to the pegs in that it just increases the amount of confidence you've got in the actual bike itself when you're riding it, particularly on corners, and that little bit of movement was just sort of upsetting the bike. Now there's absolutely no play in the throttle whatsoever, and it's a massive improvement. So if there's one thing you're going to do to your Panigale, it's get some throttle spacers and just feel the actual difference. So, they're my top 7 mods for the 1199 Panigale. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like it, please share it, please subscribe, and leave a comment if you agree or disagree with any of the things that were said in the video. So, hope you have a good day. Cheerio. Ta-da.